you so much for joining us for this little impromptu interview, Debbie.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So we did have some technical issues, but you know what? I love my technology. So I'm super happy that you're able to join us here to talk a little bit about our upcoming class, which is going to happen in, oh my gosh, like 2 weeks. I'm super excited about it. And that's going to be on April 22nd.
Right.
From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will be hosting you live in the VO Peeps Orange County location. And so it's going to be an amazing, intensive 4-hour workout. But before I talk a little bit more about that, because I want our viewers to talk to understand what's going to happen in the class, I'd like to talk a little bit about you and understand a little bit about you and our viewers who I don't know how they can't not know who you are, but if they don't, tell us a little bit about how you got started in voiceover.
Okay. Sorry, I was running over there.
Oh.
How did I get started in voiceover? I was pre-med at UCLA and decided that I would be a country singer instead because I've been playing the guitar my whole life. So I moved to Nashville instead and got jobs as a session singer as a kid's voice. I didn't ever get hired really as a grown-up voice. And one thing led to another. I moved back to Los Angeles and signed with a really good agent 25 years ago.
Wow. And so had you always been interested in voices or doing voices or?
Never. I was just a really good student, and I loved drama and community theater, and I studied drama at UCLA as well. But I always sang since I was 9 years old, and studying songwriting and arranging harmonies and singing and singing and singing and singing.
And I've actually had the pleasure of hearing you sing at the VO Mastery event last year.
Right.
Yeah. So, and you have, I think you have a couple of CDs, a couple of children's CDs out, correct?
I have 3 award-winning preschool CDs and 2 country
Wow.
CDs.
Wow. Oh, and the country CDs, that I didn't know. Oh, that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about, you're best known for your voice for Jimmy Neutron, but you've done numerous other jobs. So tell us a little bit about, I guess, what's your most current job? I just saw something on Twitter that said, I just saw something on Twitter that you're doing some ADR for the Boss Baby. Is that?
I do a lot of looping, a lot of ADR because they want to call in people who have, the animated kids voice, who can also do normal voice, who can jump back and forth between the two. And looping and ADR is it's a whole different skill set. And I've been doing it since Beauty and the Beast. So a long time. And most recently, Boss Baby and Zootopia, Smurfs, Trolls, Wreck-It Ralph, a lot of those kind. And I do live action also. And I don't really, it's a day job. And Boss Baby, it wasn't a group, it was just me. And I went in and they were like, all right, cry like a baby, here's the picture. And you just chase the picture in your best baby voice. And you never know if you're going to make the cut or not. And it wasn't until yesterday that I realized that, I'm actually on it. I didn't know if they picked me or not.
Wow, so I got some really recent, I was looking at Twitter just recently and I just saw that you posted. I was like, boy, I hope she didn't post that for like a year now. But I know that Boss Baby's a new movie out. So tell us a little bit more about some of your recent projects that you're working on now.
I'm working on, there's a lot of them. My favorite one, I'll tell you, is F is for Family. It's a Netflix original starring Bill Burr, this Boston-based comedian, and he's hilarious. And I play the voice of his daughter, sort of like the Lisa Simpson of the show. Super funny show. Season 1 is on Netflix now, 6 episodes, and we just finished season 2 that will be up May. I'm not allowed to say, but it's sometime in May. And then we're hoping for season 3. Great fan base on F is for Family. I also have been doing this doll called Dracula with Monster High.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Long time, and I'm the voice of Lucky. I don't know if you know the new Oculus Rift virtual reality game.
Oh, I know the game, yeah.
You know how Mario Brothers came packaged with one of the platforms? Well, Lucky's Tale is what comes packaged when you buy Oculus Rift.
Oh, nice.
So I'm lucky.
Quite a bit of exposure there. That's fantastic. Yeah.
So just constantly busy. And Glitter Force is on Netflix. That's another cute little show I'm doing, auditioning my head off, and coaching a lot. Doing, I have two big dolls I can't talk about. One that came out for, major toy companies, but I can't say anything yet, but they were huge at Toy Fair. So I'm busy talking like a baby a lot.
That's
and a grown up.
That's great. So what would you say, what percentage is your coaching versus your voiceover on a day-to-day basis, or just is different every day?
I schedule my students around my sessions. So I usually have 3 to 5 days of in-session work, and I just take students when I can. So I had one just before you. I have one tomorrow morning early because I'm working all day. So right now, time-wise, it's probably about 50-50. Money-wise, it depends.
Right.
It depends. I love doing it, and I love helping people, and I'm not very nice.
I've been told that about myself too.
Mostly, I don't want to waste people's time or money, and I just want to say it as quickly as possible, and I don't spend a lot of time, blowing smoke and puffing people up, because I figure if it's right, I don't need to fix it.
Right.
If it's not right, then I'm going to fix it, or tell you what's wrong, and we'll work on fixing it.
Well, that's great. Tell us a little bit about what's going to happen in our intensive, I call it our intensive class that we're going to have here in Irvine on Saturday in 2 weeks.
A couple things. I'm going to go over character creation, and I'm going to go over, I call it fluffing up the copy, and what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do via my rule book. There is no rule book. With animated copy, and I will have, when you give me the class list, I will personally select a couple pieces of copy for each and every person, and then I want to utilize those particular 2 tools in that copy. I want to utilize character creation and fluffing up the copy, and then I'll direct them through each of those pieces of copy, and I usually might let somebody go through it once, but I pretty much stop people when they make the mistake, and I like them to stop themselves if it wasn't right, if it wasn't what I was asking.
Right.
Not what I'm asking is right, but if I ask you to do something, I want you to be able to do it.
Right. You want to be able to have people following your direction.
To take those adjustments. And it's a lot going on in your brain at one time. So don't come drunk. I don't know, maybe do.
Or, yeah.
Get a good night's sleep, drink a lot of water, and I don't want anybody stretching to something that's painful. I'm only going to keep people in spots that are doable for 4 hours. If they're not doable for 4 hours, you got to let me know. I'm going to ask you if I can hear that it's stretched or strained. We're not going to do it. And we're going to try and stay away from Mike Pinch voice. You know, that special little voice people do when they get in front of the microphone.
Yes. Oh, I've not quite ever heard it called that, the special pinched voice. I like that. Fantastic. So I imagine that you'll also tell us a little bit about, give us some tips and hints on how to maybe, get work in the industry. And maybe, how, I know that a lot of people have asked me, that they're interested in finding out what's the best way to get an animation agent in the industry.
Yeah,
so
definitely go over that and where people are as far as union or non-union, what state they live in, right to work, pay to plays, finding your niche. I mean, if you sound like a commercial mom, maybe there's a tiny place for you in animation, but maybe there's a huge place for you somewhere else. So I like to see people spending their energies, on what they love, but on what they will get hired as, and not to be afraid of your pigeonhole. That should be a new t-shirt. Don't
Yeah.
be afraid
Don't-
of your pigeonhole.
I love that. I love it. So I'm super excited just to let you guys know that you do not have to be local here in Orange County, California, in order to take our class. I am inviting remote people as well. As a matter of fact, I have a few remote people that are signed up already. It's a very limited size class, and I know that Debbie wants to really do some intensive work with you guys. So you want to make sure to, go and secure your seat if you're interested fairly soon. And you can do that by going to vopeeps.com, and right there on the front page, you can click to register for the class. Again, it's on April 22nd from 10 to 2. And actually, Debbie, I'd like to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about your book, which I believe is just came out last year, right?
Yes, it's fairly new, and I just had so many students and I had so much to say. I would love it if people could at least read a portion of my book before the class, if they could. Is available online at Amazon, Voiceover 101, How to Succeed as a Voice Actor.
And you've got it as Kindle too, right? With
it's on ebook as well, and I'll bring some copies with me if people want to buy it. I can sign it for them there. It's $15, and it basically is my 30 years of training all in this one book. I talk a lot about knowing that it's an acting job, and I go over a lot of technical stuff, and a lot of questions that people just may not even know that they have, even from what to wear or who to pay attention meeting to. I also have a fun exercise I'm going to do with the class. I'm digressing, but
sure, digress.
What a writer expects from you when they have it written on the script. What does those 3 letters that's not a word mean? What kind of energy you need to have behind it? How big do you have to be? How little do you have to be? What's going to read? What's not going to read? But my book, I have these things called QR codes, which you probably heard of, but it's hard to describe how to bark like a dog or something like that. But I can show you. So I try to do it with words, but the videos are easier. So I have a few videos in here that you just
very cool.
QR reader and put it on the book. If you have the ebook, it'll just click you over to the link on the video.
Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, and how can we get copies of that? Amazon?
You can go on Amazon, or you can email me directly, and I can mail you one that's autographed. But if you don't need it autographed, just they print it to order at Amazon, or get your ebook on Amazon.
Fantastic. And if you're going to be coming to our class, then she will have copies there, and we'll be able to sign for you personally, which is really an awesome thing. So
you're in Los Angeles, the Samuel French bookstore, Actors Bookstore carries them as well. You can order them from Samuel French.
Fantastic. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to join us. And VO Peeps, so glad that you guys could join us. Thanks for hanging there with our little technical difficulties. I hope to see you guys on April 22nd at 10 a.m. for Debi Derry's animation Revelations
I love
class.
That title.
Animation Revelations class. So thanks again so much. I really appreciate it. And VO Peeps, I hope to see you soon. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.